This is Richard Wolff from Democracy at Work with another Wolff Responds. You might call this one The Profiteers of Death. I want to talk to you about a level of gross injustice that even for me, who watches these things more than I probably should, finds just this side of overwhelming. We have over 52 million Americans who had to file for unemployment over the last 15 or 16 weeks. Millions and millions of them are still unemployed. They are using up their savings if they had any. They are leaning on their relatives and friends and communities for support when they can get it. They are worried sick about whether their jobs will be there when this unemployment ends, and even if they are, at what wage or salary and under what conditions. And we already know that millions of those jobs have disappeared forever. The suffering is incredible. The psychological damage to students, blocked from going to school, which is bad, but blocked from a regular process of learning, which is worse. We could have, of course, used millions of the unemployed, hired them by the government the way we did in the 1930s, and arranged for small one-on-one, one-on-three tutor to student. Let them be the teachers for the young people who need it. Organize that. Come on. We're Americans. We're supposed to be able to do things like that for one another. Make something useful out of this catastrophe. None of it. The kids don't learn. The teachers can't teach. The people who want to work can't work. And we can't go to the store. We can't leave our homes. We can't. But I want you to think about those who can. Can do what? Can make a lot of money off of the limits we all have. We permit in this society vast injustice in which huge numbers of our fellow citizens suffer while others cash in. I'm not talking about making a profit. I'm talking about making record profits, making money off the suffering of other people. Let me let that sink in for those of you that have morals, ethics, religious or not. Let me give you some examples. A major national insurer, medical insurer company, United Behavioral Health, as I recall, recently reported record profits. That was bad enough. Record profits. We have record unemployment, record suffering, record people going to food banks, and you're making record profits. Already my antenna go up. But I was not prepared, I should have been, but I wasn't, for the explanation, which United Behavioral Health provided in the story to the press. See, it turns out that Americans in record numbers were terrified about the coronavirus, understandably. And so here's what many of them did. When they didn't feel well, they didn't go to the doctor or the clinic or the hospital. Why? Because those were the places where all the coronavirus cases were concentrated. Better to wait with a minor illness that you can treat later, or hope you can, than to subject yourself to the risk of something that could kill you or the people closest to you. So millions didn't go to get medical care. Well, for the insurance company, hallelujah! We keep getting the premiums everybody's paying for their medical health insurance, but they're not using it. They're not visiting the doctors, and we've made a record profit. Folks, that's outrageous. That is not necessary, not appropriate. This company could have been left, heaven knows, with its usual profit. It might have even said, we don't want extra profit when we know where it comes from. People not getting health care, people postponing health care, which is risky because they face an even bigger risk. We have no right to get more profit out of their suffering. But such thoughts do not occur to most CEOs of most capitalist corporations, do they? J.P. Morgan Chase, the bank, handling the record amounts of new money being created by the Federal Reserve and funneled into the economy, getting a little piece of each action as a commission, as a fee, as a difference between the interest they get and the interest they have to pay. They made record profits off of the suffering of the rest of us. Amazon Corporation, how cute. The delivery company suddenly has a burst of business. The good part of that is at least some more people got jobs delivering what we can't go to the store to buy anymore. But to lard on top of the extra people getting jobs, to charge so much for the delivery that you not only get the extra money to pay the extra people, but you beef up your profits? You gotta be kidding. And you do it with a big smile, as if it's the American way. If I can make a buck off the suffering of others, isn't that the capitalist dream? Maybe. But as George Carlin once said, if you believe in the American dream, you need to know, well, why it's called the American dream. And his answer was, you've got to be asleep to believe it. Profiteering off the misery of others is not something any decent society ought to or needs to permit. This is Richard Wolff for Democracy